Thank goodness we don't all have to delete the app. Yesterday, it wasn't as much carnage, thank goodness, and we had our centres stay intact. Birdie didn't die, which is good. We had Buller stay safe and do alright in this game, surprisingly. And yeah, no other players really got injured too badly, so it was a good one overall. Of course, for all the Cam Murray traders, he decided to play one of his best games of the year. Of course, he played basically error footy. No missed tackles, no errors, one penalty in this one. Even had a kick defusal to go along with his 52 tackles and 130 metres. So, yeah, I know a few guys that were still holding him. I think like 260 out of the top 1,000 traded him out this week. So, it was always how it was going to be, wasn't it? When everyone kind of floods out. Last week, it was, him to Hines was kind of the play. And that didn't really help anyone. And this week, trading him out, you go to Horsburgh or you go to whoever. If you go into JDB, you still benefited just, but yeah, it's always how it works, right? And same with Damien Cook, 57 for him, 54 tackles, 2 misses, hardly ran the footy. And a big shout out to the Tigers in this one, really held in there until class really prevails. And these type of teams with these type of players, and Latrell Mitchell just bumped a bunch of blokes off, got down to the other end of the field, got his try assist, and then got his try one-on-one with the Tigers defense. So yeah, one of those games for Tigers. I'm impressed with how they're going. Obviously, their inability to score tries was a little bit of an issue in this one, but they really hung in there until the last sort of 15, 20 minutes there. Isaiah Papali'i becomes much more of an option now, guys. We spoke about him round 14. Keep checking that in your diary and slotting that in there as a time that we would look to buy Isaiah Papali'i. He is average a little bit higher than where he's priced at the moment. So he's been on a little bit of a slide the last month or so. But this one here, we had one of those runs there with heaps of tackle breaks, and this is what we like from him: offloads and tackle breaks from IPAP, along with his big base numbers, and it goes really well for us. Of course, Mr. Scoop brought in Johnson a couple of weeks ago, and they've just gone right now with Tane Milne. So a little bit annoying. Obviously, Johnson scored a couple last week, but Milne there with 270 metres, 3 line breaks and 2 tries was pretty wild for that one. Jai Arrow 56, so one of those middling games where he gets his offloads, gets his tackle breaks, and his base stats are up a lot. He's just very, very strange with his PPM. He'll either go way over or he'll go way under. So a bit frustrating if you own him, but I'd say it's not highly owned at the moment. Johnny Bateman with 51 there. We had 43 in base, couple offloads. Again, just doing solidly. He's not too far away from the price of IPAP, and I know who I'd rather be going in that one. Graham 50, he was solid as well, and if you own him, hopefully for your sake he doesn't make Origin, but a high chance that he does, I would say. Adokar will only get one game to show his worth there, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Cheekham with 47 in this one, got the 1 minute off for Jed Cartwright, I believe. Anyway, 36 tackles, 106 run meters, so much better game for him if you do own, but his break-even was fairly high in this one. Stefano's 46 in his 46 minutes, so what on to him. Hosty, 46, so for those that own him, there are a good chunk of them. A much better game for him. Good base stats, no missed tackles, which is wild because that a couple of weeks ago, that's why he got hooked. And I suppose that's what you do. You go back to the lab and fix your tackling technique. So that was that. But obviously against Panthers, we see what happens with a lot of teams against and players against the Panthers. There, they seem to struggle a bit, especially a lot of individual players. It happens. So yeah, Hosty, well done. He'll make some cash this week, which is good. And yeah, exactly what you want. Obviously, it's been a long one. It's taken 3 or 4 weeks to get there, but he'll finally make some cash. Lockie Ilias, 45 for him, was solid as well, but Totola's the one we want to speak about. And 49 minutes this week, much better. Back to kind of his normal output. And we know what he was producing when he was getting 50, 60 minutes, and he's on track to be able to get there. Obviously, round 13, you'd imagine probably over 50 minutes with Murray out, with Cook out. Things are going to go that way with that one. But obviously, Totola there, the 44 is exactly what you're looking for. He will pretty much hold cash this week, make a tiny bit if he does. Yeah, I think he's around that low 40s break even. And yeah, he becomes an option now. 437 for a guy that can hit 45 to 50. This is exactly what we wanted. If you traded him in this week or last week, then it paid off in this one. Same with Hosty. Those couple of guys scored really well. And then Jaime Sele was the other one at 40, who I've been seeing a bunch of people looping as well. So all three of those guys, 40 plus, worked out really, really well. Brooksy 44, Clem 43. Still the minutes aren't there, guys. We can't look at him for a while yet until things change, until there's an injury or something happens where he does get those big minutes like he was getting at in Newcastle. Twiley, a bit of a low one. People looking at him. This is kind of where he can be at. We spoke about Sewer and what could happen to him, but yeah, of course, Drinky just gives him a try, and there's a few turnover tackles and stuff. We'll speak about that in the next game, but Twiley there with the 42, so it can happen with these guys. We saw what happened with Horsburgh in the last game. Yeah, it's how it all plays out on fantasy, doesn't it? Stafford, 41. He's just been great all year, so well done to him in a Tigers team that's been average. Buller did really well, guys. 1 tackle break, 190 meters. Did get one getting out of in goal, which was good. 8 kick defusals. So it's weird how this stat comes up sometimes. There's so many kick defusals for some players some weeks, and then you see fullbacks and wingers just get like 0 or 1 in other weeks, and yeah, really strange. But anyway, we'll take it. 36 points, especially in a week where wing fullbacks are struggling. Like for him to get consistent points each and every week, when guys like Tedesco can get 13. Yeah, he's absolutely gold mine at that price, and as a starter in your wing fullback position, the wing fullback position sucks so much. We saw Drinkwater score in the second game as well. Like, it's 20 better than Teddy, but it's not great, let's be honest. So, guys like Miller, if you did trade him out, I feel for you, because he's going to be well needed. Especially if he can come out today and do really well and get a 50 or 60, you'll be really kicking yourself. I understand it would have got you other trades, but the wing fullback position is just a hard one. You can't be selling guys. Like, if I was to sell Teddy next week or the week after, do you sell him to Drinkwater? He's averaging like 39 and he's past 3. It's like, it's okay. Walsh probably, a good chance to go into Origin. There's just not much there, to be honest with you. So Miller, Marner's injured. Where do you go? Where do you turn to? So yeah, that's that. But yeah, it's going to be a fun one to work out over the next few weeks anyway. Coruscant 29, again, those who are looking at him, 2 weeks in a row now. Not good. So you'll lose big cash again. And shows why these type of guys, they're just not that cream of the crop. And no hook is doing well this year. So that's a very interesting one, isn't it? Why the hooking position has been really poor. Unless you're getting attacking stats, it's just been a nothing position this year. The only time Grant's really done well is if he gets 50 odd tackles, which doesn't happen all the time. And then the weeks where he gets big attacking stats. So that's out there. Isaiah Tass 29, not good. Yeah, it's going to stick around that 500k, isn't he? Offengawa is going to be so cheap. If he gets a role next year, he's going to be so cheap. Or later in the year, so keep him in mind as well. Johnston, 24 in this one, as we said, not great. Tommy Talau, 21. He seems to be getting that rest for Kapoa, which is not ideal, but they had a cracking turnover tackle there on Cheekham. Made him lose the ball, which was good. But yeah, slowly working his way back. He's a talented player, but these 21s aren't going to cut it from my fantasy team anyway. Kapoa 15, Simkin and Tupou, Junior Tupou. If people are looking at him, guys, and these are is capable of these type of players is those 6s. So yeah, not good there at all. Cowboys, how good are we going? Actually, my fantasy team isn't going great this week, but this game kind of helped for the most part. Like Bird, DeBellin, Luki, Robson just is continuing to be trash, to be honest with you. I don't know how. Like he can play some decent footy, but he misses so many tackles and gives away penalties and errors. I don't know how you can have that in Origin right now. Like, he was playing better last year than he is this year, so that's that. But, I'm actually 6 from 6 in tips this week, so need to get a couple of good ones left. I've tipped the Titans, and I've also tipped the Sharkies. So if the Sharkies let me down this week, if Titans get up and Sharkies let me down, that means Hines has gone for a shocker again, and that's not good. So, yeah, coming into the last 2 games, guys, we've got Nicho McInnes. So if McInnes can score well like he did last week, that'd be great. But I'm expecting like a 45 from him. And we've got Miller. So mixture of those 3 guys. Hines is captain. If Hines can go really well and get sort of an 80-plus score, then our week's going to be fine. It was kind of saved by the great Liam Luki, and it would really be dragged out of the water and resussed if Heinze comes out and does well, which is expected. His lowest score before last week was 69, so expect a bounce back game from them. But yeah, Luki kind of saved us definitely a lot in this one. He played so good, no negatives in this one, and this was just one of those there that people said that last week that he was an absolute flop of a trade-in. It was a flop for 1 week. And we said why he was going to be bad last week. It was disgusting to him to come back to from an ACL, a hamstring injury in the wet, and then hardly get any ball. And then this week, it's dry weather footy. You get him ahead of steam, and he runs hard, and he's quick, and he's strong and big. Like, he's 6'4", I think. I don't know, he's something huge. Rangy kind of fella, looks absolutely jacked. And this is what you're going to get. Like, this is some luck in one of them. There was kind of like, everything was happening. They had one guy in the sin bin, obviously, when he got his first try, but for him to do what he did, he would have made all of those tries and whatever anyway. We're only short range, so he would have made 170, 180 meters anyway to go along with a bunch of tackle breaks, 20 tackles in his 60 minutes. He would have still got a 40 odd 50 anyway, which is exactly what we're looking for, somewhere between 45 and a 50. So for those that said it was a flop, it wasn't, obviously. So that's that with Luki. Very, very good news. And obviously he plays round 13, 14, and 16, which is massive, and 17. So yeah, that's that with Luki. DeBellin, wow. For those that decided not to pick him up or couldn't, to see that try in the first couple of minutes is just absolutely sad, obviously. For those that trade him in, we've got 69 as his lowest score. I think that's right, 69. Never his lowest score in the last 3 weeks, which is just crazy. And he'll be up near bloody 800 after this. So another big game from him. No negatives. Like, the man's an absolute freak. Jack Bird. So turns out it was alright. He was going back to the edge. I didn't really like it a lot, but 80 minutes, obviously, with him, 80 minutes on the park is great news, but he wanted to get involved. Like, it's so crazy. That couple of weeks ago when I traded him in, he had, I think, 15 tackles and 47 or 55 meters or something like that. And then this week he's got 31 tackles, 150 meters, and he's actually kicking goals as well. We're trying to, for the most part, yeah. Birdie, 65. He's a must-have in the centre position. Like, for an average 52 in the centres, obviously priced at 700k. It's a lot, but you're getting that at minimum. Like, early in the year, you're getting better than that. But it's just crazy. If you don't have him in, you're missing out big time. Benny Hunt, 58 was good. So he's 300 his game. So big congratulations to him on playing 300. He picked up 3 tries in this one, involved in every single one of their plays. And yeah, I suppose the interesting news to think about now is Sullivan. So we'll speak about him as a solid option, and he was doing everything. He'd been doing everything right until that sin bin that happened, and then he just didn't get put back on the field. So absolutely crazy what they were doing with him there in that one. But in a team where they're really struggling to get points for one, defensively, obviously, when he went off. So I think that's, Griff was just not happy, obviously, that they conceded a bunch of tries during that time. But he's the X factor. You need him on the park. That's it. Simple as that. No matter what the rest is, unfortunately, at this stage, they need to get points and they need wins pronto. Didn't, 58, so got 2 tries. Val Holmes, 56. He, if you've held on to him all this time, good news, obviously. Would have been nice for anyone who did keep a hold of him. Not a lot of people would have. Kyle Felt, he got real cheap for a point there, and now he's going to be above his starting price. So a big in to anyone who did a bunch of weeks ago, but I would doubt that many would have. A try saver, and a turnover tackle for Sewer for him to get his 53. So he worked hard for it, but he did get another 50 odd. So well done if you did slice him in your team. It worked out well. Townsend, we got Robbo. So yeah, 6 missed tackles, and this is getting out of hand at the moment. I don't know what's going on with his tackling technique. Seems to be bouncing off a lot of guys, seems to be missing low. Not good. 39 tackles, 6 misses in this type of game against the Dragons. It's just not good enough. 1 error, 1 penalty. Yes, running the footy, didn't get a tackle break in any of those. He got 3 line break assists. He's got an offload. He's got a turnover tackle, and he gets 45. It's disgusting. I don't know what to say. For a guy that, we got a lot higher than this, and he's lost a fair bit of money this week. But I suppose every hooker basically has lost money, except for Tanner Boyd. So, yeah, crazy. He's obviously a hold, but it's frustrating. Another one that's frustrating, obviously, is Cotter, 40 in his 62 minutes. So he just seems to be very inconsistent with his scoring. 60-odd, 40, 60-odd, 40. Not great. 29 or whatever he got a couple of weeks ago. So, if you did bring him in that week, then you've got a really low score. You've got a really good one, and then you've got a really low one again. So, not ideal, obviously, for the price you're paying to get a 40. Gosefsky, he's done really well, guys. He's got a line break and a try, obviously, with that good offload from Drinkwater. And 28 tackles, 3 misses, 93 meters for a guy that you were really hoping to score 28 a week. He's been very consistent. He's actually done much better for the Cows than he ever did for the Dragons, or ever he played for before. Cohen S was solid again. And by Sully, what is going on with Sully, man? Every time they passed him the ball, he just dropped it. He scored a try or he dropped it. It was literally, they passed on his chest, he was just dropping it. I was like, that's a shocker. Mbaya was solid in his time out there. Drinkwater, as we said with him, showed a fair bit of life, but just wasn't a lot going on. Meters gained, low-ish, 120. He had 2 offloads there. He had a line break, 3 line break assists, and a try assist to only get 33, obviously with 1 tackle rate. There was a lot going on. with not much points output. 2 missed tackles, 1 error isn't ridiculous, like to have -6 in the game. But nothing was high, really. That was kind of the thing with him. But yeah, still a potential buy-in, but yeah, I'd probably be trying to look elsewhere, to be honest with you. There's not a lot of guys, though, that play round 13 from the wing fullback position. I might end up just letting it go and playing 12, to be honest with you. We'll see. We'll see how that works for sure. Because they will have harder games than this. He has been scoring better against the harder teams, so strange. Granville, if you played him, 31, again, solid. You make a little bit of cash. His money maker potential is slowing down now with these slightly lower scores. Anything in the low 30s is going to slow him down, obviously, with the break-even not being so low. Couchman did return, guys. He ended up with 26 in this one. And I was trying to work out with what was going on with Sloan. He had a ridiculous amount of points after, I think it was 26 and 24 minutes. He had all these kind of, defensive stats, obviously try saves, turnover tackles. I think they must have taken a little bit away from him, and obviously had a couple of negatives. But from what he was at one point in the game, I was like, this guy's on he was on 36 or something in 34 minutes. And then, he's really dropped off, obviously, in that one. Max Phenom, people are looking at him a little bit, but 20, not ideal. Ben Murdoch, the Cashman Masilla, he's out of my side. He doesn't make any money with that 19. So, if you do have him, it is a good time to be moving him on. Oh, that's right. Sullivan would have been kicking goals, and he only got the one there before he got hooked. Obviously, the sim in there, he had five tackles, 1 miss, 38 run meters, 100 kick meters in his 19 minutes with a goal, and then got hooked. So, there you go. Not good. Actually, no, that was Matt. Matt Phenom, sorry. On the wing with the 20, and then Max with the 11. So that was not ideal if you were grabbing him for sure. Then we moved to the last game of the week, and that was the Corey Horsburgh sin bin game, and that was very, very sad. Always how it works, isn't it? You trade someone in, you move heaven and earth. I didn't really move heaven and earth. I did for Hines. But you make some trades to get a guy, and then they get their worst score in 5 weeks, which it happens. I love his effort. I love his work ethic, but for him in this one, unfortunately, to get -8, thankfully he didn't miss a tackle, didn't have any errors himself, but obviously the sin bin just drops him into that high 40s instead of the 50s. So it's not the end of the world. This game wasn't great fantasy-wise for myself with Dylan Brown and also Horsburgh, but actually I tipped the Raiders, so thinking that they would probably win this one, with the Eels losing a fair bit of direction without Moses, and they've been struggling to even get close to winning anyway with him. So going down to Canberra in the cold, Canberra winning of recent time, that was kind of the general theory, and that's kind of why Dylan Brown didn't do as well as you would have hoped. Did have that try assist, a good throw over the top, forced Evo to run through, but 19 tackles is low for him for 2 misses, 140 meters, and he only kicked the ball for 99. Which is not ideal. Obviously, with Arthur kicking a lot more, we kind of knew hoped it would probably be split, and it was worse than that. So that's that there. But not much going on for him. Only 1 tackle break, no offloads, just not his game. Back to his 40s, guys. This is what we were worried about. You kind of maybe have missed the boat in terms of his 70s. He could come back next couple of weeks and do so, and I hope he does. But this is kind of where his floor is, and where he spends most of his time, and then he kind of sneaks up into the 70 here and there. Speaking of someone at 70, Hudson Young with his delightful game. Again, he just gets involved in everything. He had 3 turnover tackles though, so that was pretty crazy. A try there off a kick, which he seems to get a lot. 3 offloads, and then his normal kind of base, about that 35-40 base in that one. So, well done to Hudson. Beautiful score from him, and if you did pick him up, great work from you. If you also picked up Hopgood, then you've done great there as well. 63 in this one. He did get a trust saver. I can't remember. Oh, he was underneath there at one point. And a try in that one. He had good base up to 56 before the negatives, and did have 1 offload, no tackle break. So 63 for him. Great news, and he's still going to be on my radar for sure as guys I want to be looking at grabbing in the side. We also probably want guys like Tohu Harris and Tavita Totola. There's so many guys we're looking for in the mids and also the edges right now. But, the way Hosking ended up with, he might be a trade out for Hopgood, and that could be the play in this week coming up. And, big minutes for him. Obviously with, who went down? One of the boys went down, didn't they? I'll get to it in a sec, I can't remember. Tubney, 52 minutes, guys. He's playing bigger minutes. He got 3 tackle breaks. He ran a little bit more on the angle. Got the 2 offloads there as well. So 49 in base, and then plus all that is great news with just the 1 miss. So welcome back, Taps. And he's an option as well, guys, if you want to look at him. now that he's getting a few extra minutes. He loves it through the middle of the year, doesn't he? Fogs with 54, so we looked at him. He didn't score as well last week. This week was better, so yeah, if you grabbed him, well done. Andrew Davey as well, someone that you can have on your radar. He did pick up a try saver, 40 tackles for 1 miss. Did have 2 penalties, an error, and also a missed tackle. So you can't say that it was anything to do with just having a perfect game, because he still had -8. But great news, and this is a guy that can score usually around the 40 mark when he plays big minutes. So a 51 in this one. Take away the try saver and he's 46. It's still really good for that price point as well. So yeah, he's lost 18k on the year. He'll be back up after these 2 games. And yeah, could be potentially an option in your side for sure. Ryan Madison, the 50 in his time on the park, the 55 minutes. It's just a little bit annoying, and he has to go nuclear basically to get exactly what you want from him, like a 55 to 60. Did have a try assist, and that was the killer. I was looking real low for Madison and Hopgood, obviously early in the game, and then a little grubber goes through from Madison, hits ricochets, and Hopgood dives, and I was like, oh, it's not what we want. But we'll still take the 50 as non-owners. You take the 50 there. If you have him, it's still fine, 50. But yeah, you want more scores like last week or in between consistently would be good. Just getting it, what he's priced at basically is what you want. Tomoko, how good is this guy? That line break through the middle, he's so electric. I wasn't looking like too much before that time, and then that terrific bat back from Rapana for Tomoko to drop onto that one. Great classic catch for any cricket fans out there, a bit Glenn McGrath-esque. But yeah, a cracker take and try on that one. 200 metres for him in that one. Hawes, we spoke about, 1 tackle break this week only, and 4 offloads. He did look a bit gassed in this one, so still the minutes were there, which is good. Might have been like he went off at about 6-7 minutes to go, which is a little bit annoying, but is what it is. We spoke about Brown, Junior Paulo there with 42. Was okay. He hasn't really stepped up. He had that first game there with RCG out that he stepped up a bit. Since then, nope. You got Josh Pups, Gula, White, and Sivo, not really of interest. Arthur there, 262 metres. Tackled okay, had 2 errors, just, not really good. Albert Hopewade, big shout out to him. He's been great this year, and finally gets his opportunity. He's been a bit of a gun. He was always a bit of a gun through the juniors, and finally gets his opportunity, and is taking it both hands, which is great. Penasini and Gutho, 34-32, both not ideal. Penasini getting a line break assist, a line break as well, but 3 missed tackles, 2 errors, not ideal for him in this one at all, and you want those meters gained to be up a bit. He's down to a 45.7 average. His scores have dropped the last few weeks, so I'm obviously happy in the end now that I picked Brown over Penasini in that 5 weeks ago now. Yeah, it's a long time ago. Wow, that was the same year. That was the same week I was thinking about. I was going to drop Hopgood to Moses, so probably worked out well in the end, didn't it for me? So I'll take any qualms I had back about that. But at the time when Penasini got over and he was heading towards 70 and Brown was on like 10. I was shitting bricks, I'll say that. Hodgson there. Better game. There you go. 53 minutes. 32 points. Actually defended all right, but that's it. No running of the footy. No kicking. No running. We just tackle. We pass and tackle. Chris, a much better game than last week, but still not great. 28. Widemu Greg with 31 was good. You needed that. Obviously, we'll make a little bit of cash, but that's low score last week. Dents him a little bit. Sean Lane, injury. That's who it was, sorry. Sean Lane injured. That meant Cartwright came on, played the rest of the game, meant he didn't take any middle minutes, which meant Hopgood played big minutes. They didn't change anything for Madison. They just gave Hopgood the bigger minutes, which means if you're looking at owning him, if you do own Hopgood, that is what will happen in further games, is if there is an injury to someone, to a middle, to an edge, he will get the bigger minutes as they have an edge to cover, which is good. So, yeah. Crazy that Hopgood is dual position, edge. But I suppose he's been a middle all his life, but he must have played edge last year, did he? No, that's where he came out through the middle. Anyway, for Panthers. That's that there. Rapana, 24, cracking try assist on that one, well deserved. Cartwright, if you haven't got rid of him, get rid of him. Laney, so 29 minutes for him, 25 points. He was heading for a decent score and then did his hammy. So it sounds like it's a little bit low grade. Could be 2 to 4 weeks from NRL Physio at this stage, but keep your eyes and ears out for Laney. In that one, Croker basically just kicked goals, ran a little bit, a few decent runs there, turnover tackle for 21, and then Hands with a 20. If you're still holding on to him, good stuff. He's not making any money, unfortunately. Makatoa, what a shocker. He's going to be based on price. If he ever gets an opportunity to change teams or whatever over the next few years, and he's based on price and he gets minutes for some squad, PPM's always been there, so he'll be fine there for sure. Solo with 18, so not good for him if he's still holding on. Seen the random team that has him, and then Wolford with his 32 minutes, unfortunately. I think he went off with an injury, did he not? Head knock, injury? One of the two. But yeah, that's that, guys. That's the 3 Saturday games. There's 2 to go. We've got Knights and Titans. Hopefully the Titans do win. Look, it's fine if Tanner Boyd gets 55 or 65 this week. I just assume that it's going to happen now. So that's fine as long as he helps them win the game. So I get my tip. And then Nicho Hines gets 100. And life is good again. Like, we're back. No, my life is good, guys. Don't stress. So it's just a little figure of speech. But I hope you enjoyed all this. And good luck in today's games.